Thanks for your patience. I'm very lucky to moderate this all-star panel because literally this is the all-star of Georgia, not only when you talk about the women in tech. I can talk about each of you for like at least 20 minutes to introduce the work that you do, but I truly believe that you are much better at talking about it. So I'm going to give you a chance to just present yourself and your company and what you do, like very shortly, closing panel, and then we can move to the discussion of the topic. Salome?
Hello, everyone. I'm Salome. I'm heading the Innovation Community Development Department at GITA, Georgia's Innovation and Technology Agency. We are a government organization, and our goal is to foster innovation and tech ecosystem in the country. Personally, I am engaged in creating as efficient communication and partnerships within all community members as possible. And I'm very passionate about women empowerment initiatives. That's why I'm glad to be joining you today. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Tamar. As it was mentioned, I work for UN Women. I head the program of UN Women in Georgia, and our primary work is around gender equality and women's empowerment. And we work in different thematic areas, ending violence against women, women, peace and security, etc. And also, when it comes to women's economic empowerment, which is a big area of our work, we have done a lot of soul searching, and we ended up with women in tech as a very important direction for women's economic empowerment, because we did analysis of labor market and the education sector, etc. And so business and technology universities are partner when it comes to women in tech work. So I will smoothly hand to Nino to continue.
Thank you. So, hello, and thank you very much for having us here. My name is Nino Enukidze. I'm the Rector of Business and Technology University, which is one of the youngest universities in the country, having the mission to contribute to the development of the innovations ecosystem of the country, maybe of the region also. And I'm the founder of the Coding School for Women, which was launched at the university 4 years ago. And I hope that today we'll have a chance to share with you some of the most important programs we have done within the Coding School for Women. And also I'm going to share with you the plans we have so that if interested, you will be able to join us later. So thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Kema and I have 4 companies, 3 of which I founded myself. And all of those are in Web3. So I'm really interested to talk about the gender equality and female leaders and founders in the space. I really hope that I can bring some insights and maybe some helpful advices for those who want to step into Web3.
Thank you, ladies, for the introduction. This is like what I meant when I said that I have the all-star. I have education institution, I have international organization, government, and the private sector on the stage. So my first question will be pretty straightforward. I personally believe, as women in tech, as a person, that unless we join our forces, no significant change can happen in any of the directions. So now Nino, I want you to start talking about answering my question. What do you and your organization and your company create in terms of the opportunities to close the gender gap, about which I can also talk for hours, but I think we all agree it's something we need to address as soon as possible. So what are the opportunities that Business Technical University offers? I know a lot, but...
All right, so as I mentioned previously, we have founded the Coding School for Women at the university 4 years ago. And the reason for this was that first we started to do the research internally in the university to see what's the gender balance throughout the programs we teach. And we have IT program as well as some others in business administration. And we saw that IT program was mostly chosen by boys. And there was a big gender gap in the program inside our university, which made me question first time what's the picture in other universities, in other countries. What's the picture in education sector? Like, is there a gender gap? Is it only for technology? Are there any other professions chosen mostly by men or by women? And so on. So within the research, and I was doing like desk research mostly, I found out that this is really a disastrous picture we have not only in the country, and Georgia has a very bad statistics in these terms, having around 14 to 15% of students taking education in information technology, in computer science and other STEM areas. But in worldwide, the best picture we saw are some countries where this statistics is like 25%. So the digital divide in this area is really very big. What we decided to do is to launch the entity which would create the network comprising of international organizations, government of course, private sector, who would be ready and willing to dedicate its resources, its time, its expertise to somehow, make a difference. We have done like hundreds of programs to support women and girls in different areas, but I want to highlight two flagship programs. One of them is, by the time, was the biggest program in the country. It's called 500 Women in Tech, which we did with support of UN Women, Georgia, and I'm very happy to say that we have educated women and given them skills in technologies, different areas of technologies, and the number of these women are not 500 as the program says, but it's 1,000. So it's a wonderful thing, and of course we wanted to continue working on this challenge, or I don't know, problem. I can call it so. And we continued it with today's program, which we are running currently in 12 different municipalities across the country, which is called a coding school for 1,500 women. And we teach front-end and back-end development. We teach UX, UI design, tester, graphic design, and some other things also. We create the business network around these women so that they will not only be educated, but will be well connected for their further employment and so on. So this is really very briefly, I tried to.
This is just few out of many that she does through her university. So, Salome?
We as a government agency find ourselves as like the umbrella of developing this ecosystem. So we have been encouraging women and girls to develop their careers in technology. We have various types of incentives and supporting mechanisms, such as, for example, for the 25K micro grants programs, female founders are receiving extra points in the final. Also, there are different types of supporting mechanisms for youngsters, girls in tech. We have been doing and organizing technology boot camps for high school students and university students. We are always fixing the gender balance, but last year we also launched a new tech bootcamp program, especially for high school girls, because we want them to have the mindset to start their career development, their entrepreneurial journeys in technology and innovation. The main component that we're very happy about it is that we have participants from all over Georgia, and they actually do have the opportunity to connect between themselves and create new teams and start their startup journeys. This year, we also launched a new skills development training program with the support of Binance. We started Web3 training courses in 3 different areas: blockchain fundamentals, blockchain development, cryptocurrency, and Bitcoin fundamentals. And the focus was on women participants also. We're very happy that the number of startups applying for the matching grants programs in Web are increasing day by day and batch by batch. So there are a lot of supporting activities that we are doing, especially to support women and girls in regions, for them to have the mindset and awareness about their opportunities and all access that they have on the government programs.
Didn't know all of that, so thank you. Tamar?
Yes, so very quickly, I want to echo your question regarding the multi-stakeholder engagement and the importance of joining forces for making change, transformative change. So from UN perspective, when one speaks about gender equality and women's empowerment, initially when this sort of agenda was formulated, it was mostly the obligation of the member states, the governments, to do something about gender equality. And then civil society was a very vocal voice and advocate for, better protection, improvement of conditions, etc. But what has happened in 2020 globally, and I want to mention this, during the pandemic, and then it was actually enacted in 2021, was the initiative which is called Generation Equality Forum, and there were 2 high-level forums within UN organized, one in Mexico, another in Paris, where member states were encouraged to take commitments under action coalitions. But the difference between the previous work that UN has done around gender and this initiative is that private sector, academic institutions, everybody else also, along with government, was encouraged to join these action coalitions. So technology and innovation for gender equality was identified as one very important thematic action coalition that can unlock inequality and tackle it in a meaningful way, change it, transform it to a more equal society because of the digital gender gap and many other things that we are all aware. So as UN agency active in Georgia, what we did, we basically advocated a lot with government to undertake commitments. So Georgia as a member state undertook the commitments to deliver progress around technology and innovation for gender equality. And we also, maybe we don't have much to add expertise-wise to the field because we are a rights-based organization and technical support organization. We are serving as a convener of all stakeholders around this issue. So the Technology and Innovation Agency and the educational institutions, private companies, etc., to come together and strategize jointly what could be done to increase gender equality in digital jobs and to sort of provide more opportunities for women to innovate, etc. And we are very happy that this partnership is really taking shape, and there are very specific initiatives that will continue together with private sector, with sort of through public-private partnerships. So that's where we see our value added as a convener, and sort of an advocate for those commitments that are globally very relevant, so that the national partners are also part of it.
Yeah. Thank you. And Kema?
Thank you. So speaking of numbers, of how we do help women to thrive in a space, especially in Web3, it is rather hard, because it's simply we cannot find so many women in a space. Mostly because they are not maybe interested, or because they don't know about opportunities. In one of my projects, which is gaming project, we have Web3 Monopoly, and in a team we have 32 members, including me. By the start of this year, we had only 3 women. And I never bothered about statistics, not till I saw one of the announcements saying, I think it was according by Statista, that only 7% of women, 7% women are in Web3. So like Web3 has, I don't know how many people are in Web3 building projects, but only 7% of those are women, and it's just devastatingly low. So we started hiring new people, and I gave a little bit more of benefit of the doubt to young women joining our company. So by now we have 11 women, and I know it's not really equally genderly equally, but still we have a long way to go, and we included incentives like teaching them or paying for the courses so they can actually learn about our industry. And hopefully by end of next year, we're going to have more of an equal 50-50 women to men ratio. Thank you.
Kema, thank you. So we now have heard about the incentives, the education opportunities, the policy changes on which the UN is working, and the private sector efforts towards changing the gender situation, let's call it so. But what we observe on the numbers side is the gap is growing. Instead of bringing it together, we see the gap growing on daily and sometimes even on hourly basis. What do you think is the biggest challenge behind that, and what's the main reason that with all this effort that we have, instead of making a positive change, we have the status quo, which is not getting any better? And again, what do you think is the lacking piece of the puzzle that will finally become the game changer? I'll start with you if you don't.
Well, I think the awareness raising, we need more awareness raising activities. We need to tell those girls and women that there are a lot of opportunities that are accessible for them. That's the first one that I think is quite challenging, no matter how much we think we do. Then is the skills development, that we really need to foster and stimulate them to have their skills and knowledge developed. And the third one would be, personally for me, I think role modeling and mentorship is really important, because I have been having a couple of role models in my career life, one of which is actually in here represented on the panel. And I do know how important it is for a young girl, to have such kind of people who will help them navigate in their careers, because not everybody has that opportunity. And it's very, very important that some successful women in tech do actually take responsibility and be in charge of several people's and several young girls' career development and their entrepreneurial and technology journeys.
Yes, so very quickly, I mean, gender inequality is the most widespread form of social injustice. So closing gender gaps in this or that sector is not that easy. It takes, its progress is slow because you are facing backlash constantly. So you make one step forward, two steps, that's the back, that's the normal dynamics. But I think if we analyze the situation here in Georgia, we see clearly that there is a lot of girls are not choosing STEM as their future vocation. So something happens in the formal education and on the level of general education in schools, why they are not making this choice, and on the BA level. So the BA level, as Nino said, is 14% and it's not increasing. So, but we have better situation on the graduate and postgraduate levels, but undergraduate is problematic. So something is happening in the schools and we have to address that, and the Ministry of Education is aware and they have made it as their priority in their action plan to sort of promote this for girls. And also societal pressures and the traditional roles and what's expected from women in life and in their careers, I think that is very strong, although not on surface that much in Georgia. You would not see discrimination or abuse or inequality maybe that openly on public space. There are a lot of latent and hidden forms that are out there, and they are reified and sort of they continue throughout generations. And so we have to break through at some point. And I think families play critical role along with the formal education system. And I think change has to happen there so that we have better talent pool supply in the BA level.
Firstly, I very much agree with whatever was said previously by both of the speakers, and I will not say it once again, even though it's a very important thing. And I do hope that at schools and even in the preschools, the actions will be active to, you know, somehow to teach the teachers not to tell to the girls that they have boys' minds if they can do good math, which is very often said. But I was thinking, what else can I say? And I think it's the capacity building and creation of the infrastructure, which will be technologically inclusive for every woman and girls. And we can discuss it in many pillars, like there is an access to internet, access to technologies overall, and so on. We know that we mentioned a number of statistics today, and one more can be mentioned. There is a very big research done annually analyzing many countries across the world. It's called Global Gender Gap Report, and it says that in order to close the digital divide on a workplace, we will need additional 130 years just to be equal. So there is a lot.
We cannot wait that much, okay? We can't.
Yes, unfortunately. So we need to act as fast as possible. And within these actions, I think that creating the overall capacity which can be more welcoming for girls to take first steps, to increase their skills, to gain the knowledge of technologies is a very important thing. And one more thing I want to say, it's public-private partnership and collaboration with academia, which is very often underestimated across the world. And I think that it's a very important thing which could bring a very tangible changes. So I do hope that the level of this sort of partnership will be increasing in next years.
That is really interesting perspective, because I had the same answers about education, mostly because we do have, in some cases we don't have equal rights, but in some we do, and we can learn equally. The thing is, sometimes we're getting restricted by other duties. Let's say we simply don't have time to do so. If you are a young wife, you probably would be also asked to do the groceries, to wash the clothes and take care of the house, which is actually okay, but sometimes employees, they just don't count that women also need to have time for dedication and efforts and the desire to do so, because sometimes women are just blown up with all duties and they cannot do anything because they're tired. So I really think we should be also bringing awareness on the how to share responsibilities everywhere, not only in education side. And also we should speak about educational equality maybe a little bit more often.
Great point. I personally believe that bringing more information and more light to the society and to the future generation, and teaching our kids that there is no difference whether you're a girl or boy if you're interested in engineering is the answer. At least it's one of the puzzle pieces. And again, because I have the all-star on the stage, it doesn't happen very often. I personally believe that each one of you is a role model for the young girls, even if sometimes we don't admit it on our side. So I would like you to give an advice. What's the first steps that they need to take if they want to join the tech industry? And maybe share a bit of how you started when you were that girl who had the brain of a boy. Kema, can we start from you now?
Would love to. I joined Web3 by accident. I enrolled as one of the interns from marketing agency, and I guess that's how it all started out. I did not have coding capabilities. I don't know how to code, but I was doing best to my capabilities, which is digital marketing and multi-language speaking. So that, I guess I need to thank that chance, to be brought into Web3, to build the companies and reach the evaluation of around 7 million of our company, one of the companies, which I was really proud of. But at the same time, we cannot rely on chance. That chance is going to bring us into the, more 50-50 gender equality world. So my first advice, not 3 steps, maybe only 1, for women, for young girls who wants to tap into the industry, I would say open your computer and look for the Web3 jobs out there. So many are now hiring women especially. So many are looking for community managers and designers and influencers all over the world. So just be active, open notebook, and you will see a lot of opportunities. Actually, my company is also hiring. We're hiring community managers and influencers to help us grow. So if you are looking for a job, please let me know. Thank you.
Well, I don't even know. There are so many things that can be said. But I think lifelong learning is something I would like to highlight, because many people think that as soon as they finish school or maybe get the university diploma, this is where the education is ending. And today in the world which is digitally being transformed, every day, we see how things are changing in our lives. We like not so long ago we didn't have ChatGPT to ask some questions and receive some smart answers, right? But today I think that most of you are practicing this thing just to make some things easier. So technology is changing the world very fast, which is why lifelong learning is something which everyone should be thinking of. It's an advice not only for women or girls, it's for everyone. If you tell yourself that you need to educate yourself continuously, then you will see the opportunities which comes together with this rise of technologies. So this would be my advice.
Yeah. I'm not in technology, so I'll not share my own experience of why I chose to be gender studies expert. But I think what women in technology have to understand is that they are really path breakers. So their individual experiences are transformative for gender equality. So the same goes true for everybody who is entering male-dominated sector and for men who enter women-dominated sector, that you are transforming social realities and relationships. So you are pioneers in many ways and role models. So I think this acknowledgement that you are doing something that is not common, that not everybody has done, is very empowering. So I want to underline that part.
A couple of weeks ago, one of my mentors that I've been having, she told me that every time you want to address a young girl and kind of give recommendations and inspire them, think of your audience as your younger sister, which actually is in the audience right now. I would say dream big always, because all the time, even sky is not the limit. You will do whatever you want to do, because there definitely will be a lot of obstacles for girls in the male-dominated industries. And yeah, I have been facing that a lot. But do your best, have the purpose, have the goal, work on your skills, work on your knowledge, on your communication skills, on your soft skills. It doesn't necessarily and essentially mean that being in tech requires for you to be an engineer or learn how to code or something. You can contribute from any kind of position and skill set in the industry that you want. And if you have any chance, have and choose a role model for yourself, no matter if you know that person or not. For example, in my early teenage years, I've been very inspired by Margaret Thatcher as a female leader in the global politics. And always have someone you can get inspiration from, and definitely dream big all the time.
Thank you. My advice is pretty straightforward. Google, decide, and proceed. The rest is technicality, so that's it. I would like to thank my fellow panelists. We are very, very good. We didn't run over time. We deserve a huge thank you from the organizers. Round of applause for the ladies. Thank you, and enjoy the rest of the day.